Well, hi everybody. How you
Hey,
doing? Happy Tuesday. There she is.
uh,
She's back. Um,
welcome everybody. Thank you all for joining us.
Carly.
Hello.
Hello, are you
Hey,
back?
Josephine.
I'm back. I don't know how I got kicked out there
You,
for a second.
yeah, you did. I took Carly out. Carly, if you want to come back, you're welcome to come back, but I know you want to kind of sit this one out, so come back if you want to. Um,
Hello, Mrs. Cassandra. Oh, I love your name.
Hey.
Markled.
Hey. Gotta get into the mood.
Listen, a lot of us have been markled.
oh
Oh
my
my
goodness.
goodness. I can't,
Yeah.
it's all over the place. It needs to just stop, please.
When we first started, we've been talking about this for a long time, but when we first, you need to get out of the way, dude. When we first set it up, this was before the Netflix show actually premiered, and
In
by
his book.
now, and then the book came out, and by now, I have no words left, but STFU. Like,
Oh, I have a lot of words.
I know. I'm like, She, just saying can carry it. She could carry it because I seriously, it's like with these two, just yeah,
Um, y- all right.
yeah. I don't even know where. I like. Where do we
Where do
even
we
start?
begin?
Yeah,
I don't even know. Maybe the chat can like segue us into something. I have
yeah,
no idea. I don't even know. I mean, I can go all the way back to the wedding.
yeah. And I
Can you
want
go
to
all the
just
way back to when they met?
yeah. Well, but that's part of the thing with me is with everything that's come out, we don't even know which is accurate because it's such
It's
conflicting
changed
stories.
so much.
Yes,
Yes.
and and some
we
of it, I don't know.
we know a lot of it is not accurate just because
Yeah,
the timelines don't add up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's pictures to prove things aren't accurate. Like even something so trivial as in the book he writes that when the Queen's mother died, Queen
yes,
Elizabeth's mother died.
yes,
So there, I'm sure there's people in the chat that don't really understand the the royal family and how it works.
yeah,
Yeah.
The Queen, when you hear Queen Mother, that was Queen Elizabeth's mother.
Which
Um,
was also Queen Elizabeth. Like,
yes, correct. So Diana would have had, if she was still here with us, she would have been Queen Mother once William took the throne.
right.
So, so when the Queen Mother passed away, he said that he was yanked out of class at Eton. Yet there's pictures of him, William, and Prince Philip at the time. I'm sorry, not Prince Philip. Sorry,
Prince
Prince
Charles.
Charles at the time. They were actually skiing in the Alps, and you see the picture, the video of them coming off the plane because they left their vacation. Obviously, when they heard the Queen Mother. I mean, it's little things like that. He lies about the most trivial things.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, yeah, there's no point in lying about that. Why would you lie about that?
I eh, and the thing that I don't understand about the book and so many things in the book is if his memory is just so out of it on things like that, where's your editor? That's the job of the editor to fix those things.
we know
Yeah,
who his editor was. It was probably his
No.
wife.
Random House is going to have an actual editor, not
yeah,
me.
but I mean, you'd have to have more fact checkers, right?
Yeah,
An editor, unless an editor is willing to fact check, what is the editor's not going to dispute his
that's true.
recollections of
That's true.
something, right? An
Yeah.
editor is just there to say, okay, take out that chapter, take out this move this paragraph here, or
Maybe not talk about your mom when you're talking about rubbing cream on your Todger. Maybe that's not so good. Yeah.
Ew, what? Okay.
and oh, Miss Cassandra, do you not know about that?
No, I don't. That's
Okay,
one thing I did
okay.
not know
So
about.
apparently, Princess Diana used to wear a specific uh
Cream. He calls
Elizabeth.
it a cream.
Are we allowed to say it? I don't know.
Yeah,
we're
I
allowed
guess
to say
so.
it.
They can't
Yeah.
demonetize it. We don't get money.
Yeah, I don't think I think we're allowed to say that anyways,
Yeah.
right? Like we're able to say like Coca-Cola or something like that. So why wouldn't we be able to say that? She wore a specific Elizabeth Arden like a moisturizing cream, but she used to wear it on her lips as well. She used to put it on her lips. So he he got frostbite. What was he doing?
He was in. I think all I remember is when he calls it Frostnickerstan, but I think he was in. That's when he went to Svalbard Island or I don't know, somewhere cold.
Was he ice fishing or something? I'm not sure what
He-
he was doing.
Yeah, and didn't apparently wear proper clothing, and he got frostbite on his what I now know they call a todger
On his member.
on
He
his.
got
Are you
frostbite on his member.
How?
Somebody that he was with had an Elizabeth Arden cream. I'm assuming a female that was on the trip with them and said, "Hey, put this on. It will help." And he said, "I can't put that on my member. Like my mother used to wear that exact same cream." But I guess they convinced him to do it, and he said, "Fine, I'll just do it." And he says, as he's putting it on his member, all he can think about is how much the smell reminds him of his mother. He said that in one sentence.
Yeah.
At no time should you ever be speaking about your mother and your member in the same sentence.
Oh,
You
No.
shouldn't be speaking about your mother and your member in the same day, as far as I'm concerned. Like it's just like,
Yeah.
and
that's what my question is, Juju. How did he get frostbite on his peeper? Peeper is
Yeah.
what she called it.
peeper.
Lord only knows. That's probably in book 2. He said he saved enough for book 2, so
Great.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Isn't really
please
neat.
spare us.
The thing is, I always liked him before
Me
Meghan,
too.
honestly. I really liked him. I loved how close him and William were, and even him and Kate. They were all so close and cool. And then now he's like trying to say that he was pretty, like he's trying to say that Kate and William pretty much forced him to wear that Nazi costume.
I don't
Was
believe
Kate
that for a
even
second.
around when that happened?
Well, that was the time that Kate and William were broken up, because they had dated from like since university. Since
Yeah,
their college
they're
years.
on and off for a while.
They were on for quite a few years, and then I think they were on for like about 4 or 5 years, and then they split or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I mean they dated for a good well over 10, 11 years before they became engaged, and they had broken up for a period of time there. But apparently fact checkers said that they weren't even together at the time. But even if if I have 2 sisters, I can't imagine my sister calling me up and saying, "I'm going to dress up as I'm not going to say the word."
Yeah.
And that I would tell her, like, maybe jokingly, I would say, "Oh yeah, you should totally do that." But I mean, she would obviously know I was being sarcastic, right?
Yeah.
And even if you had 20 of your friends, family member, whoever telling you to, yes, do that, you should know not to do it.
Right. You have your own moral compass.
Yeah.
If you know that that's a really bad idea, if my brother called and told me to do it, I tell him to jump in a lake. Now,
But the thing,
A cold one.
yeah. But the story is that apparently he had 2 costumes. He had purchased that costume, and he had purchased another costume. I can't remember what it was. And that he had called the 2 of them and said, "Hey," or sent them pictures and said, "Hey, which one should I wear?" The fact that you purchased that costume
yeah,
to begin with.
they didn't do it. He did it.
Exactly. It means you were planning on wearing one or the other.
And also the common theme in the entire book is anything. Listen, none of us are without fault. We're
Exactly.
but every single thing where he did something maybe people wouldn't find very favorable, he always blamed it on somebody else. It was because of
It's the lack of accountability for me.
Not one 400 plus pages, not one paragraph he ever took accountability for himself or for his wife.
Right.
Did you actually read the book?
I got the audio and I noped out about, I don't know, 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I couldn't.
I couldn't. You know how Netflix shows the previews before you actually play?
Right.
It was like right there, and I couldn't even get through the preview.
I couldn't get through I got through the first episode, and there's no way I was going
like,
any further.
No,
I cannot deal with the victim riding a victim train. We all have stuff happen to us. We've all done stuff, like you said, but to ride this constant victim train is just so against everything in my nature. I refuse to be a victim. And I don't get who wants to live like that. It's a horrible way to live.
Oh, I don't understand. And I guess I didn't realize until I came into this community how much everybody wants to stand still in some kind of victimhood. I mean, we're all victims of something, but there's a difference between being a victim of something and surviving it and just wanting to be a victim, like having sad eyes on you all the time, having people say, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like, people actually thrive on that. I don't understand why. I mean, I guess I understand to some degree why, but I'd rather say
the attention.
The attention. I'd rather say, I'm more of a, okay, this has happened, sort it out and move on. That's it. I wasn't like that prior to getting married. I was more like something would happen. I'd be like, oh my God. Where my husband is a very measured man. I'm surprised he's not British. He has that chin up, sorted out. Why are you acting crazy? That's not going to fix things.
Yeah.
Just figure it out. He's very calm and collective. I mean, if I didn't marry him, I wouldn't have had a hope in hell.
My husband's the same. Like, he's very calm and collective. Like,
do you find I also find that if he's upset, the quieter he becomes, the more upset he is. That's because he's upset. and the quieter people are always.
It's usually not good when he's quiet. Like, there's something brewing.
Yeah, but at least you get a sentence, but then you start to just get one word, like just a one word answer, and then eventually it's like nothing. And it's like, is he okay? No, he's very mad. What do you mean he's really mad? He hasn't yelled, he hasn't raised his voice, he hasn't said anything. I said, because he's mad.
Yeah,
that's him being very mad.
That's how you know. Yeah,
that's how. Just walk away now. Walk away now.
Yeah, he doesn't yell or anything like that.
No. But I don't even.
So I really feel, I'm gonna have to say this, I really feel that we all know that him and William, I'm pretty sure, are very, traumatized of what happened to their mother, especially since it was in the public. They had to mourn in public.
Yeah.
I really feel, he still had a lot to work out, and that, what was I saying? So I really feel that Meghan is using that.
She found that hot button, and in my opinion,
think she's
allegedly,
using his trauma. Yeah, that's how my feeling. Yeah,
found a way to manipulate it.
Yeah. Listen, I'm sure it was difficult, but there's so many things about his mom's death. That's the way he's going on about his death and about his trauma that's really bothering him. You weren't the only person that lost a mother that day.
Right.
William also lost a mother. He was also not much, but I guess at the time, like when he's they're 2-3 years apart. Being 15 and being 12 is, your perception of things are completely different. I'm not saying that a 15-year-old knows knows much at the time of being 15, but when you're 15 as opposed to still being a child, you see a lot more. He was far more aware of what was going on in his parents' marriage on both sides.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a
Yeah.
one-sided thing.
Yeah.
It, the way I lost my dad this year, actually in a couple of weeks, in early February, it'll be 23 years. I lost my dad in 2000. I was young.
Wow.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about my dad, but I don't use it as a shield for my crappy behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing that really kind of bugs me about what he's doing is he's using all of this as a way to justify his scorched earth campaign against his family.
For what, though? I
And
don't understand what's his end game.
I don't understand either, because he has to know there's no way he's going to take down the royal family. It's just not going to
No.
happen.
But why would you? It's almost like Meghan, and I am going to put a lot of this on Meghan.
Yeah.
Maybe some people may not like.
Me too. No, I'm with you on
Doesn't want
that.
to hear that, but it was almost like, if I can't have it, I am going to destroy it.
Yeah.
And by having it, I don't know what she thought. Like, people need to understand the royal family is a hierarchy.
Yep.
There's a line of succession, but these two are going on as if, like, Harry going on as if William was the favorite child, so his parents said, "Oh, you're our favorite, you're the better one, so you get to be king one day." No, William will be king one day because he was the firstborn.
Right.
Just like George will be king after him, and because he was born prior to Charlotte.
And I remember hearing way back when he was younger, and even, this is before Meghan came along, the stories of how the Queen always kind of favored Harry because she knew everybody. I'm probably not explaining. I don't mean like love wise in terms of family structure, but in terms of the firm's structure, it favors William. So I remember hearing that the Queen always kind of favored Harry, and that the Queen Mother especially always favored Harry, to the point that she left him most of her money because she knew William was going to be taken care of. No, that's not true.
Well, I don't know about the favoring part, but she wouldn't have been able to leave all her money. The money is left to the monarchy.
Okay.
Now King Charles, but at the time, Prince Charles inherited everything. At the same time, once Kate and William they were the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. They now, on the day the Queen passed, they now automatically became the Prince and Princess of Wales. Their dowry, they were millionaires before. They're now billionaires.
Yeah.
Because they own a lot more property. The royal family have a lot of money. They're worth about 45, maybe close to $50 billion. A lot of it is tied up in real estate, castles, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They automatically, Kate and William automatically inherited a couple of the houses as the Prince and Princess of Wales. Just like George will inherit. So once William becomes king, George, and whether he's married or not, if he is married, him and his wife will now become Prince and Princess of Wales.
Yeah.
And they will inherit those properties afterwards. It just goes down from generation to generation.
Yeah. And wouldn't but if they were still senior royals, wouldn't they have moved up too? Because
no.
Okay, I wasn't sure how that was, since he's what? Well, I guess he's what, like, is he fourth in line?
He's fifth in line. But so for up until 10 years ago, Harry was he was third in line, really, because Prince Philip, oh, sorry, not Prince Philip, Prince Charles at the time, he's been the heir to the throne for 70 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
That is a long
That's
time.
I think the
Right?
longest.
And then William. So up until that, Andrew was the spare.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Once William was born, that's it. It just knocks Andrew and his family right out of the running. And every time a child is born every time a child was born, including grandchildren of Princess Diana and Prince Charles. I don't know why I keep calling him Prince Philip today. I'm not sure why I want to do that. But every time a child was born, including the grandchildren, it just knocked Andrew down, further down. Okay, it would take an act of God almost for Andrew to have ever become king.
Yeah.
The same thing now. The same with, and honestly, I think that's why Meghan's so mad, is because I think she wants to be queen. That's my opinion.
I don't know if she understood it, or I'm not sure if she understood it correctly, but I mean, she had to have understood the line of succession. There's no way you're ever going to be queen. But I think what she wanted to do, what she did, was she went into Buckingham Palace and said, I want to be afforded the same privileges as they are. It's like, no, as a family, you are on equal footing. Yeah. As a child, you know, Harry, you're on equal footing from William. In the family, you are loved the same. But when it comes to the monarchy, no, you don't get this house. That house belongs to, to this family.
Yeah. I think she looked at it as, a Hollywood popularity thing. And if I'm more popular, I should get more or the most. And no, it doesn't work that way.
I'm seeing April's comment, and I agree. I 100% agree. But at 40, do you now use your I'm sorry, I believe it was her mom. Do you now use your mom's, passing as an excuse for every crappy thing you do or say to somebody?
Yeah. And and we get it, April. We understand that it is, well, I mean, I don't understand what it feels like to lose a parent early. I can't understand that. I will never understand that. But I can understand that it would be very hard.
Yeah.
But I feel, I come from a family where, going to therapy is not the thing, especially for children. So I'm sure that the, stiff upper lip royal family probably didn't take those kids to therapy. Maybe they did, because Diana's side of the family may have had something to do with it, but I doubt it. And so he probably didn't really process it as well as he should have been able to.
And but Harry's allowed to feel a certain type of way about his mom's death. Absolutely. Yeah. I still feel a certain type of way about my dad's passing, because my dad had one heart attack right in front of us.
Oh.
And that was it.
Wow.
And he packed it in. So of course we all feel he wasn't there to walk any of us down the aisle. He wasn't there to meet any of his grandchildren and all that. Like, nobody's denying Harry of anything he feels as a result of his mother's passing.
Right.
It's when you sit there and say, well, I lost my mom, so I'm allowed to do this.
Yeah. No.
You and everybody else, buddy.
Yeah. You can't be a trash human because things happen to you. You just can't.
Yes, we're all going to bury. I mean, if it, the natural order of things is we're all going to bury our parents one day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's again, we need to have accountability for what we do. And there's just such a lack of accountability for so much anymore. And those two are the poster children of it right now, at least for me right now. And for the people in chat, we want you to know that you're free to have differing opinions, and you're free to
Yes.
think that they are the greatest thing since sliced bread. And we're not going to hold that against you until we talk about you behind your back. No, I'm kidding.
We'll see you in Discord. We'll
Yeah.
see you in Discord.
Oh no, not the Discord. I'm just
Yeah. We're just here to talk about it. We're just talking about it. We're not.
No, I'm not trying to change anybody's mind
Yeah.
about Harry or Meghan. I think
Yeah.
people have already picked their respective corner, and
Right.
that's fine. But what is your opinion predicated of the royal family predicated on what Harry and Meghan are saying is a completely different thing. If you just didn't like the royal family because as a whole you're not into the whole monarchy thing. I like as a Canadian, I have a different, I think, respect for the Canadian for the royal family because we're part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
She has always been our queen. I spent every day in school up until university like with a picture of the queen, and when we sang the national anthem, we faced not the the flag was right beside it, but we faced her picture.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's good. I see. Like, learn something new. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So, I mean, I think we might. I understand a lot of Americans might not like the royal family because they don't understand how it works. Now, if you don't like them because you just don't like this idea of kings and queens and what century are we living in, or you don't like William because you think he's stuffy, or you don't like Kate because you don't like her hair, or something like that, or whatever, that's fine. But if your dislike of the family or one or two people in the family is because of what Meghan and Harry are saying, well, a lot, and it's not even a little, a lot is just not true. Yeah. Like, I like Grace. I think she's amazing. I like Mrs. Cassandra. I think she's amazing. Now, if somebody came to me and told me something they did or said to somebody that, just awful,
like maybe what did happen.
Oh no. Oh yeah, kind of. Remember? Yeah. Except no, I didn't know. They didn't. It was a weird story. That was more of a weird story. We won't even get it. Okay. But I mean,
no, we'll be here all night.
Yeah. If that piece of information skewed my perception of them now, okay, fine. But then to find out what that person told me was 100% untrue, like. I think I would owe it not just to myself, but to them to say, okay, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And I need to reevaluate this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Again, nobody's here to change anybody's mind about Harry or Meghan.
Yeah,
it's just,
exactly.
There's a lot of things that people also don't understand in North America. A lot of North Americans don't understand the monarch. Let's go back to the Oprah interview. Meghan Markle sat there and said, "My son is not being given a title because of the color of his skin. I have never heard such a lie before in my life." And the fact that Harry well, actually, I think she said that if she was just one-on-one with Oprah. Now, but Harry knew what she had said when he came back. Their children were never entitled to titles.
See, I didn't know that her children weren't entitled to titles. Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah.
But about that Oprah interview, first of all, it just struck me wrong that because of the color of her skin, that just didn't seem right to me. But
no, it was, but that was a bold-faced lie. Look what they did. They manipulated the situation to make you think, oh my God, Lily she was pregnant at the time. Lily wasn't born, but Archie and my child I'm carrying will never have titles because the color of the possible color of their skin. That's a lie. But the way it works, just so everybody understands, at the time of both their births, at both Archie's birth and at both Lily's birth, the Queen was the monarch. She was the reigning monarch. The only people that, as a reigning monarch, the only people that receive the titles of prince and princess are her children, hence Charles, Andrew, Anne, and Edward. They're all prince and princess, right? And her grandchildren, Harry, William, Eugenie, Beatrice,
Yeah.
great grandchildren of the reigning monarch do not receive titles. So therefore, Lily and Archie would not have gotten a title, just like Beatrice and Eugenie's first children were born while the queen was queen. They don't have titles.
Yeah.
Princess Anne's grandchildren, which are queen's great grandchildren, don't have titles. The only great grandchildren that receive titles are the line of succession, are William's children. Why? Because they are the direct heirs.
And wasn't so that was just
That was just a
that
lie.
was
So
yeah, I mean, like that was Prince George and Princess Charlotte at the time, because because
no,
actually, because
Louis was born
Louis
too.
Was there, yeah.
Yes, that's the only. And now people say, well, they're the great grandchildren. They're the grandchildren of the current monarch, King Charles. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's the status of the child upon their birth. They were born while the queen was the monarch, not Charles. Now, had Charles had been king, then when Lily and Archie were born, they automatically would have been prince and princess.
And Harry knows that. He would have
Of
to know
course he
that,
knows
right?
that. And
So, but
Meghan knows that. And Meghan knows that. What, you think that in 5 years, nobody told her that? Harry didn't tell her that?
and here's
The fact that they lied to Oprah. Not only did they lie to Oprah, but they brought race into it.
But here's what bugs me the most about the Oprah interview. This is Oprah. This is Oprah and her team of producers, and nobody pushed back. They just went, okay.
Because they knew the interview would be over if they pushed back.
I guess, but it made Oprah look like a fool.
Oprah didn't realize at the time, because I don't think even Oprah knew, and it was like, what? First of all, I thought that was rehearsed anyways. Remember, she's like, what?
Yeah.
Because I think how do you not know that? How did you not research that? First of all, how do you not know that? You should have researched that. If you're doing a special on the royal family, you should at least have somebody in your camp that's a little, at least well-versed in the royal family.
Yep.
Could you imagine somebody who knew better just turned around and said, hang on a second, your kids never would have been entitled to titles anyways. Zara's kids don't have titles. Eugenie's kids don't have titles. Beatrice's kids don't have titles. Peter Phillips' kids don't have titles. These are all the great grandchildren of the queen. Why would you think that your children were entitled to titles?
And Anne is a good example too of some pushback with Harry on, it's all unfair, and it's I can't remember the exact words he used, but Anne is the hardest working of them all and gets the highest popularity marks. She was a spare, so shut your mouth.
And she never, she was a spare until Andrew came.
Yeah, I was about to say, once Andrew was born,
once Andrew was born, she was bumped down, because up until Princess Charlotte being born 7 years ago, and I thought this was amazing that the queen, because the royal family is modernizing, they are going with the times. Up until Princess Charlotte was born, it went by, it went by gender. If you were a female, you just got knocked down every single time a boy was born into that family. So Charles was born first, then Anne was born. She was the spare until Andrew came along. Now Andrew became the spare, and she got knocked down to third. And then once Edward was born, she was not now knocked down a fourth.
Which proves the point even against Harry even more, that a spare is just as valuable and can work just as hard and be.
They're lazy. They didn't want to work.
Yeah, they didn't know. But Harry before Meghan was right up there with Anne in popularity, and he could have continued all of that, and so could have Meghan, but
they didn't want to put in the work.
No.
The royal family is a government funded family.
Yeah.
They have to work for it.
Yeah.
They serve the people.
Yeah.
They are committed to the people of the UK and of the Commonwealth.
In her
they
own
wanted
words,
to leave. They didn't. They say, we don't want to do this job, but we still want the perks of this job.
Yeah. In her own words, she couldn't believe she wasn't getting paid for it.
She couldn't believe she wasn't getting paid for it. She couldn't. What do you mean you're pulling my government funded security that only senior royals receive? I don't want to do the job, but I still want my security. And when I move to the United States, I now want the US to pick up the tab for my security.
Yeah. We don't care who you are. Like, no. Yeah, I just don't understand.
Well, I thought I read somewhere that they themselves had said they didn't want Archie to have a title.
Oh, that was originally what they wanted to go live away from the press and have their own little private life, and they didn't want Archie to have titles, but they want to be in the spotlight, and they do want the kids to have titles.
They didn't want Archie to have the make-believe title that they thought he was being denied.
Yeah.
What do you mean they don't want? He was never going to receive a title. He was never going to receive a title.
But then they switched it. Yeah, and then they tried to switch it. So they didn't give it to him.
It didn't exist. It was never going to exist. He was never going to have a title. He wasn't entitled to a title. So they were refusing to accept something that he was never going to be offered anyways. Like, that's so, like, well, listen to her. It's like, well, we don't want it anyways. Nobody was offering it. What?
Well, it didn't, and I know I've been seeing it because I've been seeing like articles everywhere, and I know she was crying about at how small their home is, the house that they got.
Yeah, 16 bathrooms in the middle of a global pandemic. For free.
Yep.
A house they was given to them by the Queen as a wedding gift for free, and just because Kate Williams' castle was bigger.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it is. It's all about because they got a bigger place than me, I'm gonna cry.
Yes, and they were always, Kate and William were always going to get something bigger and better. Why? Because they are the heir to the throne. She's always going to get first dibs to the fashion houses. Why? Because she is the future queen. That was another one of her gripes. Kate always got first pick of all the fashion houses, and that she turned around and said, well, she's not even queen. And then somebody turned around and said, yet she's our future queen.
Yeah.
Everything is, it's a monarchy. Everything is, whether people like it or lump it, like you either like it or lump it, that's just the way it goes. You may not agree with it, but that is their tradition. That is their history. He said I believe in the Anderson Cooper video interview, he said, I want a family, not an institution. Well, you have a family, but guess what? Your family is also the institution.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but he makes it sound like he did, and I get it that they're not, a typical family like, Ozzy and Harriet, and they're probably not the warmest and fuzziest, but he did have a family.
Well, yeah, we also believe that they're not warm and fuzzy. I think they are. I mean, you see William and Kate with their children. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um,
He
Diana,
definitely gets that from his mom because his
yeah,
mom is
Diana,
really hands-on.
yeah, she wanted it to be different with her kids, and Kate is obviously coming from a family that's a whole lot different in that regard, and Harry
the,
had the chance
it
to.
yeah, in public they get, yeah, again, it's that stiff, that British stiff upper lip. You don't complain and you don't explain.
Yeah.
You can't be the queen and walking around and wearing your heart on your sleeve.
Yeah.
That will come across as weakness to other people.
And that's how he looks right now. He looks weak. To me anyway. Other people may not see it that way.
He's troubled. He looks there's something else going on there. He's
Yeah.
like, it's almost like there's a craziness. He feels he's being slighted somehow.
Yeah.
You weren't
And
slighted. You knew this.
Yeah.
And that's
You
the thing.
weren't
I really
loved like
feel.
that. Sorry.
I really feel she. I'm sorry. I was like, I really feel that's where Meghan comes into play. She's using it.
Well, I think
She's using it against it.
he's got
against
that
them.
Unresolved trauma from, not dealing properly with his mother's death and anything else that, may be going on that he's pushed down, and she comes along and she's manipulating that, allegedly, in my opinion. She's found a way to manipulate it, and, I should probably not say this in a public forum, but
Oh, just say it.
well, she has alienated him, or had him alienated from all the people who are close to him,
Yep.
physically removed him from all of that. What is
Yep.
that a sign for those who know? What is that a classic sign of?
Narcissist.
And abusive behavior. So
Yes.
allegedly, in my opinion.
Let's not forget, everybody. Do you remember her dad and her sister selling stories to the media?
Yeah.
And how up in arms, and how she can't have a relationship with her father anymore because he sold her out.
Yeah.
And now look what they're doing. The hypocrisy of these two is off the charts.
Yeah. It's
and the disservice they're doing to their children. Could you imagine?
Oh my gosh.
Being the grandchildren of the king, and you have no relationship with them. Can you imagine when they're 8, 16, 17, 18? Your grandfather's king. What's he like? I have no idea. I never met him. I think I met him once when I was 2.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know, because my parents told me they were bad people.
Yeah. Harry needs, and I hope he's still not on the board of whatever mental health program he was on the board of, because he is the poster child of you need a lot of help.
And I also found that a lot of things that he was saying in not just in the book, but in the Netflix docuseries and also in his interviews following the book, were talking points straight out of a therapist's office.
Yes. And hey, by the way, I'm all for therapy. I'm in therapy. I have my own psychiatrist. I'm not putting it, when I say he shouldn't be on the board, it's not because I don't believe in it. It's because he's, how do I feel about this? It's like it's become a weapon for him, I guess. The way I see it, he is not, and like we've talked about, he's not, if he's truly participating in therapy, all he's learned is to be a victim. And that's not what any therapy I've ever been has ever taught me. So
no.
Yeah.
I mean, part and one of the sorry, I just checked the chat and I saw Wicked Pickle said, "Is it Eugenie or Eugenie?" It's Eugenie. It's Eugenie. That's how you pronounce her name, not Eugenie. I think that's what she was asking. But also part of therapy is being able to turn the mirror on yourself afterwards.
Yes, for sure.
It like, where did you go wrong here? What is your role in this?
Yes. And if we can't own up to our role in whatever it is, that's a problem. Because we all have, it may be 1%, but there's something that none of us are perfect. I mean, we're just not. And I'm real big on accountability. That's one of my
Yes.
big things. So
Yes. I'm also like this guy just whinges on and on, like that he was denied all these this is a man that has lived his entire life of privilege without having the responsibility that William has, without having the burden that William carries on his shoulders.
I would like to know what he was really truly denied other than the throne at one point. I
But
mean,
he wasn't denied it. That was never his to have. It's not like
right.
he was denied it.
What privileges was this man denied?
Nothing.
Does he have any idea what the real world is actually like?
Yeah. And also he was allowed to do a lot more things. Like William probably was able to, like, if they went skiing, if there was like a steep, listen, I'm a Canadian, I'm a big skier, you know, the bigger the mountain, the bigger the hill, the better. But William wouldn't have been allowed to go on certain slopes because he's the heir.
The danger. Yeah.
Yes, because he's the heir. He had all the privileges and also the freedom that William didn't have. Harry has said he doesn't, he's glad he's not the heir to the throne. He doesn't want it.
Yeah.
Then what's the problem?
Yeah.
And also another thing, your wife says that she was in a certain state of mind and she was denied help. I don't believe that. But yet him and William get into a little scuffle and William breaks her necklace. Dude, why are you wearing a necklace to begin with? But anyways, let's not even go whatever.
Oh, that's why you keep talking about his necklace.
Yes. It's like, okay. They get in a little scuffle in the kitchen, if it's true what he's saying. And the first thing you do is pick up the phone and call your therapist. Oh, you have a therapist on speed dial, but you're unable to get
right.
You're the face of therapy, in the royal family, but you're unable to get your wife help. I don't believe that story.
I don't believe that for a minute.
I don't believe that for 1 second.
You can call a car and say, "Oh, we're going out to dinner," and drive her to a hospital and check her in and say she's feels like unaliving herself.
Well, I believe the royal family would have had some control over that. And when I say that, the only control they would have had was to ensure that she was being brought to a facility that was a place they can trust, like somebody that wasn't going to go leak it to the newspapers. You know what I'm saying? That's the only part the royal family, and that's for their benefit.
Yes.
You don't know. Every single member of the royal family could be having a nervous breakdown every single night. We don't know about it, and we shouldn't know about it.
Yeah. No, I don't buy that at all. And yes, April, you're correct. He was in the news a lot for doing a lot of stupid stuff when he was younger and not that necessarily young too.
A lot of old enough to know better.
Yeah.
Old enough to know better. There's that certain P word when it comes to people of the very derogatory term that he used when it comes to people of more of an Indian descent that he used in his early 20s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. It was terrible. It was all over the newspaper. It was all over the newspaper. I mean, it was public knowledge that when he was at Eton, he was getting pulled out of class, literally thrown on a private plane or a helicopter just because the Queen wanted to speak to him because of his shenanigans that he pulled.
Oh, wow.
You saw them all over the newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was constantly, even all the butlers, I hate that word, all the aides that were, Diana's aides and stuff like that literally have known William and Harry since they were babies, said the amount of damage control we had to do for Harry. He was constantly getting pulled out of the school. Literally, somebody would show up and say, "Gotta go, your grandmother wants to speak to you." And she would rip him a new one.
Wow.
But that's the thing is she would do it both as a grandmother and as the queen,
Yes,
because
because she
you
would
have
have to
to.
remind him, you're not just any Joe Blow that's going to make him go to a costume party and make a ridiculous mistake like this. And nobody's going to be the wiser except for people at that party. But you are the grandson of the British monarch. It's going to land on every front page, on the front page of every newspaper. And sure enough, it did.
And then it does bring back the past, like with King Edward VIII and his wife, how they were told that they were supposedly a part of that group he was dressing up as. Like,
Yes, exactly. You're right. I know.
and so
It's,
that
yeah,
also, that's what I'm saying. Like, it also brings back,
yeah,
all of that stuff in the past, and how, because his uncle or great uncle was like cool with the top guy.
yeah, yeah. We all know what we all know what you mean. It's so hard.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Hard
Like,
navigating YouTube properly,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
especially when it's
So,
not your channel. I would have my channel nuked every single day if I had a
Well,
There's the things.
I mean, some stuff is normal growing up stuff, and some stuff is a little bit farther than that, I think. And you're right. Some of it is normal growing up stuff that is in the public eye, and that's hard. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's got to be really hard.
it's got to be really, really hard. And and that could be part of some of this unprocessed junk that he's carrying around that he hasn't processed yet. And it's not going to, and kind of my thing on that is whether it's that stuff, whether it's Diana's death, whether it's clearly he's still holding a big old bone of contention towards Camilla. Throwing these rocks around isn't going to fix how he feels on the inside about any of it.
No, no, no. And this narrative has to stop about the media being responsible for his mother's.
Uh-huh.
That has to stop.
That's another
And
one.
that is
Yeah.
one of the biggest misconceptions about about her passing.
Yeah.
Princess Diana passed at the hands of a drunk driver. Her
And she-
drunk driver.
And she wasn't
drunk
wearing a
driver.
seatbelt.
Her current boyfriend, remember, she was long divorced from Prince Charles. They weren't even in the UK. They were in Paris. Her and her current boyfriend were in Paris dining. Their driver, their chauffeur, whatever you want to call him, joined them for dinner in a crap load of alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're out if you're on the clock and you're out with your boss, you're not drinking unless your boss says it's okay to drink.
Yeah.
They literally got this guy totally liquored up, as well as themselves. They were 4 sheets to the wind, all 3 of them. What did they do? They got into a car. She and her boyfriend got into a car and allowed the driver to drink. He wasn't just tipsy, he was inebriated.
Mm-mm.
And no seatbelts. But somehow the British media are responsible for her passing. They weren't even in the UK. Somehow Charles is responsible for her passing. They weren't even married. They were divorced. She was with her new boyfriend, her 4th boyfriend since the divorce, in a completely different country. He's got to stop peddling. Him and so many people have to stop peddling like this misconception that the media was responsible for her passing. The paparazzi that were following them were on Vespas. They were French and Italian paparazzi. A Vespa is not keeping up with a car that's doing 150.
No. They're barely in the same county.
They were what they normally do is at stoplights. if the driver even stopped for stoplights. I don't even think he did. I think he was blowing them all. A Vespa can't get, like, normally what they do is they get the shot at a red light or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, what are you out trying to outrun them for? You're sitting in a car with tinted windows. They can't see you. You've walked out of the restaurant out the front door. At what point did you ever think that was a good idea?
See, and I think Diana was great. She did great things. She
was
everybody
amazing.
loved her.
Amazing.
But she also knew how, same with, I'm going to draw a parallel to Meghan, and not because I think Meghan is trying to pretend she's
Emulate.
Diana.
Yeah.
But she knew how to work the paparazzi for her benefit. Like walking out the front door. Walking out the front door instead of the back.
Refusing security.
Yeah. So there's a group of, I won't say a group of people, but a thought process that Diana could do no wrong that bothers me. That's because that's not true.
And you know what? You can, I adored her, and I like a lot of people, I would have loved to have seen her being the queen consort right now. But to sit there and blame people that had nothing to do with it, nothing at all, like just to for your mother's passing that had nothing to do with it. The queen was being blamed. Charles was being blamed. When Princess Diana passed, they contacted Prince Charles. He got on a flight to Paris. I don't know if she had passed yet by the time he got there, or she passed shortly after. He officially identified her, threw her body on a plane, and returned his children's mother back to his children. Before the boys even woke up in the morning, so where they could tell them this is what's happened. She received a state funeral, which she wasn't supposed to get, but they gave it to her anyways.
The queen bowed to her too.
Yes, the queen bowed to her coffin. The queen does not bow to anybody.
That always still gets me every time. I don't know why. It just like gets me like, oh my goodness. Like,
but I mean, I was young, but I was still old. I'm old enough to still remember the conspiracies that were being thrown around. And somehow Harry managed to live 30 plus years. At least what we think, that he's squared this away, but all of a sudden Meghan comes into his life and it's like, oh, let's go back to the conspiracies from the late 90s again. What?
Because he somehow sees everything that his mother went through now thrust upon this woman.
What?
I don't know.
In the Netflix documentary, they couldn't even find one shot where she was being followed by paparazzi. That one scene where they're in the car and they're like, "Oh, is that the same guy on the scooter? One guy on the scooter following you? It was probably an Uber driver. Relax, slow down there." Like where every shot where they show like paparazzi hounding, it was actually Kate they were hounding. Do you guys remember how hounded Kate became?
Oh yeah,
it was terrible.
Yeah,
it was very close to the way Diana was hounded.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard a peep out of Catherine?
Nope.
Remember what the papers used to say about Catherine? Now everybody's grown to love her, but you know what? She worked her butt off for that respect.
Yeah.
She's not throwing her family under the bus. She's not out here publicly throwing her in-laws under the bus. She's not complaining. You think that she wants to be walking around in 6-inch heels in the rain, greeting people when she's 2 weeks after she's just given birth? You think she doesn't want to be home in
6 weeks after giving birth?
Yeah.
Like,
you think she doesn't want to be home in her sweats and in a bowl of popcorn watching Netflix like everybody else? Have you ever heard her complain? Nothing. Have you ever heard her blame other people for this and that and this and that? Never. No,
I just can't understand this. these two have entitlement in one hand and victimhood in the other. It's just, I don't understand how they ought, like
And that makes for a very dangerous person, and
it.
a very toxic people.
I
Victimhood and entitlement right there.
Yep.
Toxicity right there.
And I can't imagine being in the same room with them. Like
It's just it's
it,
I get so worked up over these two.
yeah.
I mean, listening to people like, oh, poor thing, this happened to him. It's like, no, it didn't. That didn't happen. That actually, there's actually pictures. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, that really didn't happen.
Well, on some good news, it looks like Eugenia is pregnant again.
Yeah,
Yes.
she just announced that today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Today? Yeah.
And guess what? Her child will not be Prince or Princess. Sorry.
No.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's to become of all of this.
I mean, this is a couple that was embraced. This was a couple that
They were.
I mean, the wedding was huge. They should have said, they knew they were never going to be king and queen. I mean, but they could have been very, very respected and very liked members of the royal family.
But did you get did you watch all of the Netflix?
No, I watched mostly clips. I wasn't giving them the.
Yeah.
I literally felt like poking my own eye out.
It appears from watching what I did from the Netflix and the other clips that I saw, that she never really had any intention of staying.
No.
From the get-go.
No.
And that really gets under my skin.
Yeah, I think she was an actress who never really made it as in the A crowd of Hollywood. I don't even think she made it in the B list of Hollywood, right?
I never knew who she was.
Yeah,
I didn't know who she was either.
She starred in a show that didn't really have wasn't a popular show. It wasn't like The Sopranos or something.
No.
You know what I'm saying? She did a couple of Hallmark movies. I'm not knocking Hallmark movies.
Okay, I love my Hallmark movies, and I've never seen her in one.
I mean, it's not Forrest Gump. You know what I mean? It's not Schindler's List. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have any role in, like, she just wasn't part of the Hollywood crowd. She could have walked into a room, like the Academy Awards, and nobody would have known who she was.
Until she married Harry.
And I think I think she's always been chasing fame. She married Harry and thought she was going to be the star of the show, meaning the star of this family. No, you're married into a monarchy. There's a line of succession. You were never going to be the star. You were never even going to be the supporting actress in this family. Because technically Charlotte is. Right?
Yeah.
So, and I think that bothered her.
And she had to know that.
Of course you know that. I think it bothered her that she had to walk behind Kate. I think it bothered her that she had to curtsy to Kate when the Queen wasn't there. She had to now curtsy to Kate. Stuff like that. Instead of embracing this and say, like, if that was my sister, listen, I have three. Sorry, not three. I have two sister-in-laws. For my husband has two brothers. We're all girls. We have three girls in my family. My husband is three boys.
Oh,
yeah. So, yeah, so I don't know what it's like to grow up with brothers, where he doesn't know what it's like to grow up with sisters. But anyways, I have two sister-in-laws. If I had a curtsy to one of my sister-in-laws, I would laugh my butt off every time I would curtsy and then stick my tongue out. You know what I'm saying? And laugh about it afterwards, right? Because that's how close I am to my sister-in-laws. Because why wouldn't I be close to my sister-in-laws?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing.
Ronnie, I'm curious about the Marcus character. Yeah, so instead of embracing her position and doing great things with the platform that she's being given, just being part of, she just chose to be a brat about it. Well, if I can't have it all, I'm going to burn it all down.
Yeah. So we can get into a lot of speculation on this, not necessarily the Marcus character in Soho House. I mean, I've heard some things that I can't back up in any way, shape, or
Wait,
form.
I'm lost. What is this
Oh,
referring to?
so this, she's part of, or I guess it's a membership. So I guess you would say she belongs to Soho House, and they have their locations all over. I think she originally joined in Toronto, but I'm not positive about that. But
Okay.
they have locations in London. I know they have one here where I live, but it's kind of where um, I don't know what the benchmark is to get in, but they attract the wealthy, the famous, and it's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be. But then I also know people who've gone that are just average Joes, but they're not. So I don't know how you get in, but fairly recently I've started hearing some somewhat sorted things.
Are you talking about the yacht kind of stuff?
Well, that there may be some connection to that. Um,
Well, there is a little bit of connection. The girlfriend of, okay, there's names we can't say.
yeah,
There's a gentleman that allegedly became unalived in prison, and his
yeah,
female friend recently is now in prison.
yeah,
Okay.
Well, the girlfriend of the very young girlfriend, but although she was legal, she wasn't like she wasn't 16. But I mean, the dude who's no longer here, he was what, 50? So he was in his what, late 50s,
something like that, I
something
guess.
like that. His girlfriend was in her 20s, or one of his girlfriends was on yachts with Meghan Markle. There's photographs of them. They're
Yeah,
not doctored photographs. They are, I mean, you even see her mole. You know that mole that she
yeah,
has? Yeah, I mean, it's her. You can
yeah,
even tell, even from her body structure, the way she walks and stuff like that, everything.
yeah,
I mean, she's hanging around with his girlfriend, and it was his current girlfriend at the time. I'm sure he had plenty of girlfriends, but
yeah.
anyways.
And I think it was Lady C, I think, who was saying that allegedly, in my opinion, I think what she was saying is that, like, at the London Soho House, you these girls could like leave their luggage and pop off here and pop off there because it was all kind of a like it was sorted.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And there was talks about that years ago. Like when I say years ago, when I think when she was dating Harry,
yes,
and the royal family buried those stories for them. So
yeah,
this talk of the royal family is in cahoots with the British media. Where? What article? Point to an article and show us where.
yeah,
Every, like Grace said, every sorted story that came out, they buried on Harry and Meghan's behalf. The thing about the accusations about the bullying of the staffs, they're no longer accusations. They were proven. That
yeah,
was why William and him got in that argument. He leaves that part about the book out,
yeah,
about the staff, about her bullying the staff, about literally what was it, 11 people, 11 aides that were aides for years, literally picked up and pulled a midnight run, literally quit,
wow,
were in tears. Same thing, since she's had nannies, she's blown through about 7, 8, 9, 10 of them.
yeah. But it's odd that to me that people who have that go on in their lives never ever stop and think,
No.
am I the problem? Is it
Yeah.
me? No.
Every negative story was because of their behavior. Like the time that they're running around talking about climate change, and then they're jumping on Elton John's private
Yeah.
private jet. You know what I'm saying?
Or living in giant homes way bigger than they need for a family of their
And
size.
complaining about it on Oprah
Yeah.
while everybody's going through when was that, in April of 2021? This was a year
Yeah.
after everybody living through a global pandemic and still in very knee deep in a global pandemic.
Yeah. It's just no self-awareness.
Going on Oprah and saying and lying about the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Oh,
The Archbishop of Canterbury is like it's almost like it's like the bishop almost, you know. The Archbishop of Canterbury is the one that's going to crown King Charles on his coronation. My understanding, is that correct?
yes, I think so. Yeah.
I think so. They went on Oprah and said we were actually the Archbishop of Canterbury married us in a oh, we didn't want the big wedding. That was just for the family. Oh yeah, right. She didn't want the big because she didn't want to parade around in a big carriage through the streets of London while millions of people were watching. Sure, you didn't want that. But anyways, he said we just wanted a small ceremony, and we got that. The Archbishop of Canterbury came to our resident and married us in a private ceremony 3 days before our actual wedding day or a public wedding. You know, it was just me and him. It was just Harry and I and the Archbishop of Canterbury. The Archbishop of Canterbury came out the day after. Was it the day after or 2 days after? The Oprah ceremony said, the Oprah interview, and said that is categorically false. Not only does that go against my religious beliefs, that is against the law. Had I have done that, I would be there's a possibility I would be in prison right now.
And again, do they think of the consequences for anybody?
No,
not at all.
No. And the Queen could have come out and said a lot more. What did she say? Recollections may vary. Yeah. Which are the most brilliant 3 words this woman has ever said in 70 years. It's basically saying you're a big fat liar, but I'm not going to make an ass of you any more than you already have.
Oh, I adored her. I just
the bullying accusations, they buried that. They did a thorough investigation. It lasted 1.5 years. What did they find out? It was true. Yeah. Everything was backed up. There was witnesses for everything. And what did they do? They buried the findings.
Yep.
They made all the people that quit sign an NDA. Why? To protect Meghan and Harry. Now, Meghan and Harry repay them by going on TV and writing a book and signing contracts with Netflix to say that the British royal family was in cahoots to the media for and their goal was to make me and Meghan look bad. No, they saved your butt.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would lift those NDAs.
I think William will lift them. If it was up to William will lift them. It was his staff that was being bullied. Because he now said, here, we have a lot of staff, you share my staff. Kate had to go to her and say, do not ever speak to my staff that way. Could you imagine the future queen, you would think to be stuffy and maybe has to go to somebody, you would almost expect for it to be the other way around, has to go to somebody that wasn't even married into the family yet and say, do not speak to my staff that way. That's not how we do. We don't treat people like that.
I think it's just Meghan thinks people are expendable if they can't get her exactly what she wants and, a leg up somewhere. She doesn't care. She doesn't see them as, she doesn't see people as her equals. They're just pieces on a chessboard. Yeah.
They're expendable. If they can't get her to exactly a piece on the chessboard, if they can't facilitate her next move, get out of my way, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or she's like that petulant child that'll just knock the whole chessboard over.
Exactly.
I come to feel bad for her dad after everything that happened.
Oh, I feel bad for her dad.
You mean the dad that raised her?
Yeah. The way he's been thrown under the bus.
Yeah, the mother that took off on her and was gone out of her life for more than 10 years.
Yep.
The mother that how do I say that? How do I say this?
In your opinion, allegedly.
No, this is more than my opinion. um, the mother that forgot to remind her that she was part black.
Mm.
Why didn't she remind her that? Because she wasn't around.
Yeah.
And for the people who will say that, of course, we're only saying this because it's a racial thing. It's absolutely not a racial thing.
No.
I don't care if you're green, if you're purple, if you're. It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with how you're behaving. I liked her at the beginning. Great. Harry has a wife. He's going to be happy.
Not the wife you wanted.
Well,
they keep going on about, I'm happy. I've never been happier. I've never seen somebody look so miserable before.
Yeah.
Happy people don't do this.
No.
And then one ex does keep getting him back up. The one that he was wanting to, like, she said she didn't want to be part of
Chelsea.
The public eye. Yeah.
Chelsea. And the other one, Cressida too, which I really like the second one. Yeah. None of them did. They didn't want this kind of life for them. Also, Harry's behavior issues stem back a long time. Like, he wasn't an easy man to date. Like, they didn't just break up with him because they're like, okay, I don't want to be in the spotlight like this. I don't want to be part of the royal family. That's too much. I just want to live a carefree life.
Yeah.
Why they broke up had more to do with Harry's behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, that's but it just seems like she always gets brought back up somehow. So I always
thought she was the one that got away.
Yeah, that's how I'm thinking. Like, that's how I get it. Like, I think that she was the one he wanted to marry, but because of him, and I think he really has a grudge against the public or the paparazzi because of that. Because of what happened with his mom, and then because I think he's looking at it like, well, I really wanted to marry this one, but she doesn't want to be in the public eye. Like, pretty much like what Grace was saying, just putting the blame on something else instead of taking accountability.
Then don't be in the public eye. You say you wanted to leave the royal family. Leave the royal family. You left the royal family.
Well, that's the thing.
You said you wanted to live a life of privacy. I didn't realize that privacy meant a 6-hour documentary with Netflix, a 400+ page book, a 15-hour audio, 17,000 interviews.
Yeah, doing everything they can to be seen.
Yeah, we don't want our children to be in the public eye but here, let me share 18,000 photos of them in every private moment with
Montecito is a great place to go to not be seen.
Exactly.
But they're doing it.
So leave. They said, the Queen said, you're all in and you're all out. None of this half thing. No, it doesn't work. You don't get to just show up and for your royal duties that the taxpayers are paying you for whenever you want to. And so it's all in or out. Fine, we're out. Okay, now go be happy. What have they done for the next 3 years? They've complained.
Yep.
They've whined. To give that Oprah interview when you knew your grandfather was literally on his deathbed.
That is just gross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to not go see him, and to continually not go see your grandmother when you know she is not well.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you see how he also, I think, in the Anderson Cooper interview, how he conveniently skimmed over. Remember, Anderson asked him, well, what happened? So he didn't get to see her. Like, he showed up later. She had already passed. And he says, he says, take me back to the day the Queen passed. What happened? And he said, I heard the family informed me. And then I sent a text to my brother saying, hey, how are you guys all getting to, I think it was Balmoral. Were they getting to Balmoral? Is that where she was?
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
stop.
Balmoral.
Yeah. How are you guys all getting there? And then his exact words were, and then yada, yada, yada. I find out 3 hours later, the whole family's on a plane
No.
on the way. And I wasn't, and
No.
Anderson says, and you weren't on that plane? He's like, nope. He implies that they left without
They
him.
just, yeah.
But Grace knows what part they left out. He left out the part where he said, me and Meghan are coming. They said, no, just you come. Meghan is not to come. What do you mean my wife can't come? Said nobody's wife's coming. Kate is staying back. Sophie was staying back. It was just the direct children and grandchildren of the Queen. He caused a big fight for hours saying, well, if my wife can't come, I'm not coming. And they're like, okay, bye.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because the only people that were, I thought the only one that was really there was Anne at first, and then
Anne was there throughout the whole time. Like I think Anne,
and
Anne
then
was there,
Charles and Camilla showed up.
Charles and Camilla came. Yeah, the only people that were there were Charles and Camilla, her children. So Edward, but I don't even think Sophie was. I think they'd let Sophie in because Sophie and her were really close. But Catherine wasn't there, and they're
No,
and
it
they
was
said
just
to
William.
her, that Prince Charles said to him, Catherine is not going to be there. Meghan will not be there. And he caused a big hissy fit.
Yeah.
That's why he missed the plane with the rest of the family to get him to the Queen before she passed. But he conveniently left that part out.
Well, didn't William get there late too? I thought William didn't even get there in time.
I heard he did, and then I heard he didn't, so I'm not sure about that one.
But yeah, I just knew I just knew that it was him by himself. Like Catherine wasn't with him.
No.
Or his kids.
They weren't singling Meghan out. They weren't trying to slight her or him. They were saying none of the spouses are coming. But he caused a big problem. He caused a big argument, and they said, I'm not doing this. I'm not having this argument. We got to go. And that's exactly what they did. They went. And he jumps on Anderson Cooper, on the interview with Anderson Cooper. And when Anderson asked him, take us back to the day that the Queen passed, what happened? You didn't make it on time. And he says, yep, I text my brother saying how the family, I mean, it's all there. I mean, anybody could see the clip. His exact, I'm paraphrasing here, but essentially his almost his exact wording was, I text my brother, asked him how the family was getting there, yada, yada, yada. A few hours later, I find out the whole family is on a plane on their way to Balmoral, implying that they left without him. He conveniently left out the part where he caused a big argument about Meghan not being able to come.
I don't know why he would have thought Meghan really had to be there. I mean, it's not like she had a close personal relationship with the Queen anyway.
Like, it's just unbelievable the way they lie. Not only do they lie, but they take any situation with a morsel of truth to it and they manipulate it.
Yeah.
So that they appear like victims.
Yeah.
And the royal family are the big bad wolves,
Yep.
Like, it's just awful. So again, like I said at the beginning of this live, I'm not here to change anybody's minds about Meghan and Harry. I think people are pretty set in how they feel. But if your feelings towards them or towards the British royal family are predicated on what Harry and Meghan are saying, I would say do your research. I would say pay attention a little bit more. And at the end of it, if you still say, I just don't like them anyways, that's great. But to lie about your family like that. Why? 120 million reasons why they lied
Yep.
about them.
Yep.
120, no, I think it was more, $136 million they have made since, when did the Netflix series start? Beginning of December?
Yes.
In
Yeah.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
$136 million. And these two are whinging on every opportunity, are sitting,
Yeah. They still
telling
complain.
you how terrible their lives are.
Like,
And how, like, think about that. The people, have you seen the price of, gas is getting better now, but
yeah,
have you seen the cost of groceries?
I know. I mean, do you have any idea how people are really suffering right now, guys? Like, shut your mouth.
Yes.
That's why, like I said, but from the time we scheduled this until now, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm just so tired of these two.
Yeah, and look what the royal family is doing while they're sitting there just complaining. While they were complaining, William William was at a hospital, a hospital that they just opened up, talking to everyday people, talking to the nurses, the big nurse shortage that they're having in the UK. Catherine last week was at a school, like an early education center, because I mean, she's really trying to draw awareness to how formative those early years are for children, and stuff. And while these guys are complaining about how bad their lives are, the royal family is actually out there doing charity work.
Yeah. They're so dedicated at at their job. I mean, it is a job.
I don't know. He should have done more than just push him on the dog bowl. Um, just my opinion.
Did you hear that in the book, Harry says that he wants I can't remember exactly how he phrases it, but that um, he wants he wants Harry, not Harry, um, George and Charlotte and Louis. He wants to like be able to not raise them completely, but
Spend some time with
spend
them.
some time with them so that they
And
have a chance. Basically,
a
I'm
chance at
like,
what? A chance at what their
to
parents
be
are. Yeah,
right.
no, that's their parents' responsibility.
I'm like, okay, let's look at Kate and William, who are grounded and down to earth, and let's look at you, who seems to be strung out on drugs most of the time. Who
And
should we let raise the kids?
yeah, he wants to spend time with enough time with his Charlotte and Louis, who are the spares, because he's worried for them. You don't need to
Yeah.
be worried for them. I think they're fine.
Yeah.
Though they're what, 9, 7, and 5, and
Yeah.
they behave. They're more
Much
mature
better
than
than
the
you.
two of you guys.
Yeah.
I think they're good. I'd be surprised if William doesn't have a protective order in place.
Probably.
Like maybe he went to the Greenwood Police Department and live streamed it. Jesus.
Oh no. Too bad we
need
didn't
to
get
tell
to
Harry
watch
to
that
cease and
live.
dismiss. Cease and dismiss right now.
A cease and dismiss, and it's all about the ducks, but it's royal ducks
That's
now.
right. Well, wouldn't it be swan? I mean, it should be swans. Let's elevate this.
But William said, "My children are not your concern," and he's absolutely right. They're not your
They're
concern.
not.
And it's sad because I'm an aunt. I'm a mother, but I'm also an aunt.
Yeah.
And I was an aunt before I became a mother, and I used to say like my oldest nephew, the one that was born first. My love for him. I used to think, everybody said when you become a parent, it's a different love. Even when I became a parent, I just said I just love them like my own, right? And being an aunt is like being a mom is great, but being an aunt is great too. And instead of being that great Uncle Harry that the kids look forward to, spending the weekend with. He's fun, he's carefree. He could have been that for them.
Yeah.
And not only that, his family could have been that for his children.
Yep.
And
Yep,
it's so sad. It's so sad now.
it is. That's what I was saying, is like they were so close. And I thought at one point he was even saying that Catherine is like a sister he never had.
I always
And because
I always thought he had a little bit of a crush.
Yep.
he
I don't
might
know.
have, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say a crush, but he always revered. It appeared like in the way he spoke of her, and I think he actually even said the words too. He always revered her as the type of woman that he wanted to, like, like he just adored her. Like, this is the type of, if I can only be so lucky to have somebody like her, because Catherine is really kind of down to earth. She doesn't cause waves. She's easy. Apparently, she's very easy person to get along with. She has a great sense of humor and stuff like that. She's not difficult. Like, she's not
It's not high maintenance.
no, she's not high maintenance. Just because somebody has a $20,000 outfit on doesn't mean they're high maintenance.
Yep.
Trust me, if I had literally designers showing me their, the spring summer line before anybody else sees it, I'm going to be wearing those same outfits, but I'm still going to be the jerk that I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just going to be doing it in nicer shoes. Like, but I think what you see of Catherine is what she really is, always smiling, kind, I don't know, but it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. They have no family.
No.
She has no family relationship from her side, and now they have no relationship with his side.
No.
And that's a huge disservice to their children. It's
Yes,
so
it is.
sad. Can you imagine being the grandchild of like being part of a family that is so rooted in history, like the royal family, who has
Yep.
and your children will never know not even know anything about them, not even know them.
Yeah. I just don't understand the whole cut them off because you're mad.
Not about what though?
Yeah.
Not about what?
I mean, I get, sometimes we have to set boundaries on family, but usually for a
Did you
whole
hear
lot more
his
than that.
gripes? When we were in school together, William told me not to talk to him.
Yeah, my brother said that to me too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, my sister, I'm the middle child. My older sister exactly 2 years older than me. My younger sister exactly 2 years. We're very close in age, like meaning our birthdays are very close. That puts us like exactly 2 years apart, each of us. My mom said, I made sure that you were out of before I had the next one, that the previous one was out of diapers and almost feeding themselves, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Before I had another one. I remember going into the 9th grade. My sister was now in the 11th grade. I saw her in the hallway, and I'm like, "Hi," and her name, and she's like, like that.
Yep.
Meanwhile, on the way to school, like my mother or my dad or my mom was driving us to school, she was talking my ears off.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw her in the hallway in the first day of school, my first day of the 9th grade, and I see her in the hallway, and I'm like, "Hi," and she's like, and she just keeps walking.
Yep. My brother,
Like, I don't know you.
When
Yes.
The 1 year that we overlapped in high school, he used to drive my friend and I to school, and he made sure he would drop us off a block away.
Oh my God, that's
Yep.
hilarious. Yeah. The nephew I was talking about, that I couldn't get this child. This child was like, oh, I adore this child. I still do, obviously. But I couldn't get him away from me. Like, he always wanted to be around me. But as soon as he hit like that 14, 15, like I would go to the mall, and he would literally walk like I would always take him to the mall. I take him shopping, but when he was around 14, 15, he would now walk around about 7, 8, 9, 10 feet in front of me. And I would be like, wait up, wait up. He's like, no, I don't want, like, there, a lot of my friends come to this mall. I don't want them to see me with my aunts. And I'm like, oh, you want me to pay for everything that you're buying today? And I understood it. I got it. But I'm still like, but wait, pay attention to me. I'm like, wait up. You know, and I was like, what happened to the kid that like I couldn't get off of my hip, you know, before? Like
Yep. That's why like I know it could get annoying at times, but it's like I know eventually my son's 8. I know eventually he's not gonna want to have anything to do with me. So
how old is, so you don't have to say his age. I don't.
he's 8.
Oh, he's 8. Oh,
Yeah. So he's
yeah.
getting there.
Like my daughter's 16 and my son just turned 15. Yeah, there's no way. It's like I'll drop my daughter off to like her friends, or like there's a party or something like that, and like especially in the summertime, like the kids will be outside and I'm waving to the kids, and I've known a lot of them since they were in kindergarten. You know, I know them. A lot of them practically grew up in my house, but she's like, Mom, go. You know, she's so embarrassed. I'm like, just because I'm waving to her friends, you know, it's like, oh, she's so embarrassed by me.
Oh dear.
And then she'll go, as she gets to, once she becomes an adult, it usually switches back. Like, I actually, that's the thing, I never was really like that with my mom. I never had the like leave me alone type attitude as a teenager. But I noticed as I got older, we've gotten closer. So
I don't think I did either. I was never in a position. I don't think I ever was like, oh no, drop me off around the corner with my mom or anything. I think it's because when I was being dropped off by my parents somewhere, all my friends were too, right? Until we were able to drive ourselves around, right? So I'm not, yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. And I don't take it personally. Like, I don't take it personally when my daughter's, I mean, we have a good relationship. She's a little brat, but I understand because I remember what it's like to be 16. So when she acts like a 16-year-old, I don't take it to heart. I just try to like piss her off a little bit more, and I'll wave like more. I'll roll down the window and I'll actually like start calling the friends by name. I'll be like, "Hi, Joanna," you know, like stuff like that, which just bothers her more. That's it. Yeah.
yeah, that's how well, I guess my mom was actually the one that was she was the taxi. Like she was the one that drove us everywhere. My friends and I everywhere.
Right.
So I think that's why, like, so she was the one that drove us everywhere, and all my friends like loved her, and then they loved my older brother too. I always wanted to be with him, like get with him because he was just so hot. Like come on, I don't want like, please.
That's so
like
funny.
is that the only reason why you're my friend, hoping that you can spend the night and get to know him?
Well, my husband, okay, so he's the younger of 3 boys. So the 2 older ones are not even 2 years apart, just under 2 years apart. But then there's a 6-year difference between the middle and my husband. So when the 2 were like he was a baby when they were kids, but by the time he was a child, they were teenagers. And the 2 older his 2 older brothers, they were never, for a long time, they were never in the same place in life. So when my husband was a teenager, his brothers were adults. They were in their 20s. It wasn't until they were all now in their 20s or all now in their 30s where they were always close, and they were always very protective of my husband as their younger brother. But they weren't like the 2 older brothers. They were very close. They went to school together. They had the same friends. They played on the same sports teams. You know what I'm saying? They were very close. It wasn't until they were older. Now all 3 of them became close, like full adults, or all 3 of them were, their relationship changed because he was like, I was always in a different place than my brothers. They were teenagers together. I was a child. They were adults.
That's how it was
together.
with that's how it was with my husband. He's the youngest. They're 8 and 7 years older.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes a big difference.
So yeah, and so like again, by the by the time he was a teenager, it was like just him and his mom, really,
Yeah.
because they were already out on their own.
Yeah. Yeah. And like both my brother-in-laws were married in their early 20s. So not only was my husband a teenager at the time, his two older brothers were married and, already married and starting to have their own families too. So very different places in life. But now the
Yeah.
three are thick, like they're so close. They're so close. But they
Yeah,
were
because
always
now what?
close. Yeah, they were always close. It's just it was a different kind of relationship. He really was their baby brother that they protected. But they
Yeah.
didn't socialize together.
Yeah, that's how it was with them. Now he doesn't talk to one. He hasn't talked to one in years. They got into a falling out, and he just like prefers just to not bother with it. But the oldest, he's started to get more closer to him. Like they talk a lot more. They like, but he moved to he lives out of state, so anytime he's in the area, they try to at least meet up and hang out.
Right.
So yeah,
Melcy
they've
is
gotten
saying
closer. Yeah,
Melcy
what?
is
Sorry.
saying her youngest is 17, but she also has a 6-year-old granddaughter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how it was like with my nana is one of 13 kids. My One of my mom's uncles only 4 years older than her because they were because like my grandma had her young and
Right.
her parents were still going.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like so he's only 4 years older, and so they were more like cousins than uncle and niece because they were so close in age. So they were a lot closer.
Right.
And then and that's how it is with my aunt is the youngest aunt because my mom's one of four girls, and the
Right.
youngest girl is only 15 years older than me.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that's what so she was always like the cool aunt, and then she did have kids young too. So
I had to say, my dad, and Carly will know, I've told this story in Discord and voice chat, where my dad was a child of 10, but my dad was the ninth child of 10. Oh, the first
oh
eight
wow,
were all the first eight were all girls. So he had
Wow.
8 older sisters, and then my
oh
dad was
my
the
goodness,
ninth. My dad and my uncle were the ninth and 10th. They were the only
Wow.
boys. So
oh no,
it was and sadly my dad was the first to pass out of all of them. Like all of them
oh
except for one aunt are still around. So that was really hard on all of them because they're all like, no, this wasn't the way it was supposed to be. We were supposed to go first. That was really
yeah,
hard on them because they were not only his older sisters, they were his mother. Like they were like mothers to him. And the same thing
yeah,
because I was from my dad was younger. I was much younger so I have a lot of cousins from my dad's side.
oh I bet,
Yeah, like there was and we were all girls. There's like 30 of us. We were all girls, only 2 boys. There was only
wow,
and my uncle, the 10th child, was the only one that had the 2 boys. Everybody had girls. Everybody had girls, all girls. And it's the same thing. All my cousins were my babysitters, the older ones, right? They were all my babysitters. So
yeah,
there's a lot of them that for I mean, now that I'm older it's different, but for the longest time I looked at them more as a mother figure too instead of my actual cousin. you know
yeah,
yeah, I was their flower. Like I had like 5 older cousins that got married like the same year, and it was like I was at that ripe age where I was everybody's flower girl. And it was 1 year of constant flower girl dress fittings and stuff like that. And it was like, how did I get stuck being? I was like,
can't
why
I
do I have
just
to
use
do
the
this?
one I got that
Yeah.
I used before?
Yeah. And it's like, it's amazing to see. It's like, okay, these are my cousins, but I was their flower girl, and it's like, there's such that big age
That
gap.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually how it was with my on my dad's side. There's three. My grandpa is the only son out of four, and he's the oldest, so he's got three younger sisters. But one of his sisters is pretty young, and actually, two of his sisters didn't start having kids until my dad started having kids.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, like, I'm closer to his cousins than he is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And
yeah. The age difference is like the dynamics really change because you think, okay, my cousins are my bridesmaids, not my flower girl. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You think more like a niece would be your kind of thing. Yeah, but I mean now we're just all older. we're on the same page.
yeah. And then on my mom's side, so there's four girls, and then out of the grandkids, it's only four girls, and then the rest are all boys. So it's like
Right,
seven boys, four girls.
right,
So it's like the boys took over for the grandchildren, but the great grandkids has been a lot more girls than boys. I think
right.
I want to say there's only three great grandsons, four great
Yeah,
grandsons.
yeah. My family was definitely dominated by girls. Now it's pretty well. Yeah, the boys out. There's my sister has two boys. I have a boy and a girl, and my other sister has a boy and a girl. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, there's one extra boy than there is than girls. Yeah, but yeah, it's nice because I didn't grow up with brothers, so it's nice to watch the dynamic between my daughter and her brother, like and my son. It's
Yeah,
not always fun to watch their dynamic. Like I'm waiting for
yeah.
literally one of them to break each other's necklace. My son doesn't wear a necklace, but I'm waiting for somebody to land on the dog bowl. It's funny.
Yeah, well, I have
It's
one cousin. He's the Nick Cannon of our family because he's got like 10 kids.
right.
No joke. I'm
That's
I'm really
hilarious.
I'm really not like, and they're mostly girls. I
Yeah.
think he only has maybe three boys.
Oh, okay.
So,
Does
oh
he?
wait, so that means there's more than because my cousin, my youngest cousin, the youngest of us four girls, she has two girls. The middle cousin, she has two girls, one boy, and then my cousin that is just 2 months younger than me, she had a boy, and then I have my son,
Okay.
and then the rest all come from that one kid, the
Does
one cousin.
from your okay? Does your cousin have 7 baby mamas too?
Probably more, honestly. I'm not joking. Yeah, he's probably got more. He, I told like he's only I think he's only 31. So he started young. Like his oldest, I think he was 19 when he had him. Yeah, a kid. I guess you could say a kid every year. Uh oh,
What?
did we lose her?
Oh, did she leave? I mean, did she fall off?
She must have. I was like,
Oops.
I'm all like, going.
Oops.
I'm just talking.
I don't
I
hear
was
the
like,
pup.
oh.
How
I
did you
wonder if
make a
she.
poll, Juju? Did you make a poll?
I don't. What did she? See the poll below. If you don't like Meghan Markle, then give this stream a thumbs up. Cast your vote now.
She got really wonked out.
I guess she was really stunned about all those baby mamas. But yeah, he's that cousin.
She's
Whew,
like, I'm
anytime.
out at 2 hours and I'm not coming back.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if her phone died. Mine's getting pretty low, and she.
If you like Meghan Markle, hit the dislike. And either way, it gives us
Hey.
engagement. So we don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm just.
No,
Yeah.
seriously, it's yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna put that up now. I meant to put that up. I wasn't sure when I was gonna put that up here. What is it? Is it this
Put what?
one?
Oh.
Boy, she really got bounced. Yes.
Yeah.
If you have not, and yeah,
She put herself on like a time limit. She's like, okay. She put her like, not. I'm just joking, but she like has it to where it automatically boots her at a certain time.
To enter our contest for our 100 sub giveaway. There she is. Ooh, we were worried about you.
No, I heard I heard footsteps and mom. So instead of
Oh.
muting myself, I hit leave by accident. And I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
and I didn't realize. So, anyways, I went to go talk to my son, and then when I came back, and I was like, "Where, what happened?" I'm like, "What is going
I
on?"
was like, I guess you were so. I was like, I guess you were just so blown away about those 10 baby mamas.
I'm like, "Crap! What did I miss?" Okay, how many baby mothers were there?
I honestly don't know.
Sorry,
There's a lot.
I do that all the time. I instead of mute, I went to hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I
like
heard
no
steps.
longer really. I'm no longer really close with him. Like I just hear it through the grapevine. So anytime my mom goes, guess who's having another baby? Like, oh, I know who you're talking about. One time she actually threw me off. She's like, guess who's having another baby? I said, hey. She's like, no. I was like, well, then who else?
What's the poll? What poll? Oh, I see. I saw Mousie's comment. It says, I feel like I should be so much older than I am because she has the 17-year-old child, but then the 6-year-old granddaughter. And it's like, I have a 16 and 15-year-old. I feel like I'm 80 sometimes. Like, I feel like I should be 80 because I feel like I'm 80 sometimes. That's what children will do. Teenagers will do to you. It's terrible. Well, what's the poll about? Sorry, I missed the poll.
The poll is if you dislike, Juju will correct me if I get it wrong. If you dislike Meghan, give the stream a thumbs up. And if you like Meghan, give the stream a thumbs down, because either way, it's all engagement for us.
Right. And it's again, it's not for anybody to dislike her. I think Meghan had a lot of great I think she has a lot of great qualities about her that she could have cannibalized that into something really good. She's beautiful. Like she's stunning. She's absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
She's very smart. She's a very intelligent woman.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a great speaker. I just think that they could have done, like, it's almost like they have no self-worth. Do they think this is all they have to offer is just to throw family members under the bus? They could have done really good things with their notoriety, the platform they have, their affiliation to the royal family.
Right.
You know, like
what is their own foundation doing? You have this platform, you do have notoriety with your name, but what are you doing? I
don't know. It's like they've cheapened themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like such a sleazy thing to do.
Well, and now the farther they go with this type of behavior, more and more people don't want to work with them.
Also, their reputation is
especially with British people, like the British.
Well, they were never going to win over the British. The British people anyways, because the British people have been hearing about this for so long. But I mean, their favorability in the US is just tanked. I mean, when you're sitting there you're 1% higher than Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
That's bad. Geez. That's bad. You're doing yourself no favors here. They could have really Harry, next to the Queen, Harry was one of the most likable royal family members forever.
Yeah.
Forever. You know, as much as people liked him and all the good qualities that Meghan does have, they could have done really good stuff. But this is all they're going to be remembered for. Remember that book when he threw everybody he knows under the bus? That's all he's going to be remembered for.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's very, very sad.
It is, because like we're talking about, they are a system or institution, whatever you call it. But they are family, and they seemed really close. And now they're not so close anymore.
Ronnie G. I can't say this any nicer. Just know your place, ma'am. Yes, know your place, and your place is
Yeah.
like way down the line, and that's just and that
Not.
has nothing to do with you personally. It's just
No.
your
Yeah.
your birth.
Yeah.
It's just the time of your birth.
Yep.
That's it. He's
And-
upset with William because William was born first.
Yep.
But he said
And-
he didn't want to be the heir. Oh, sorry, Grace. Go ahead.
No, and I just want to kind of throw out there, and I can't read the man's mind. I leave that for Juju because that appears to be her specialty these days. But I really kind of feel bad for Charles because I know, just from my own daddy issues, that my dad doesn't necessarily see the stuff that he's not handled the best way, in our relationship. And yet the older he gets, the more, I don't know how the best way to describe it, but, they want to, he wants his kids around him. He doesn't want, to have this
Strife.
estrangement.
Yeah, you don't want strife in your relationship, especially in your
No.
older year. Like in your
No.
yeah.
And Charles
Charles
isn't
even
young.
said that. Charles
Yeah.
said the same thing. He said to both of them, not one. He didn't single out Harry. After Prince Philip's funeral, he said, "Boys, don't make my final years difficult."
Yep.
And what does Harry do? He goes and writes a book about what private conversations he had with his father. And who's the only person making his life difficult?
Harry.
Harry.
Ronnie G. No, Sunshine Sacks, I believe, dumped them.
Dumped them about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walked
away. Yeah.
Yeah, I have guess just I have daddy issues too because my dad wasn't really around, so
I think he has more mommy issues. And I think somebody said it. I can't remember where somebody said it. It's almost like he sees his mother and Meghan, and he couldn't save his mother, but he thinks he can save Meghan. But what are you saving her from? You need to save her from herself.
Yeah.
She's her own worst enemy. Who are you saving her from? The Uber driver on the moped behind them? Like, who are you saving her from? Oh my God. I'm terrible. I know I'm terrible. I've just had enough of these two. I just can't with them anymore. I can't. Like, I feel like dragging my head across concrete every time I see another comment or another interview. Is like, oh my God.
Let me see. I bet if I were to go to like Yahoo right now, there'll be something about the royals.
Oh, well, that's because you were talking about it and it heard you. So of course there would be.
Of course.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Why is shrimp? Who's eating shrimp?
It might be her sea monkeys.
No, what's Mousy? Mousie's talking about shrimp. Mousy, remind me.
Did Harry and Meghan blow up their brand? The prince's popularity is at a record low after the release of Spare, but their media empire is just getting started.
Yeah, it's their media empire is their bank account. That's it. They sold yeah. They could have made so much money. They could have made just as much money doing something positive.
Yep.
I'm like scrolling because usually they have so many different.
I'd like to point out that I, Cass, have made it 2 hours and 5 minutes without pointing out the obvious connection between Meghan and victim train riding and victim train riding.
Well, just say, okay.
The MM.
Oh.
The Meghan Markle.
Oh.
Meghan's and Meghan's.
Oh.
Consummate victimhood. Yep. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Power to the flower.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I made it 2 hours without doing it.
Oh.
Poor
That's a whole different live stream.
Yep.
That's a whole different live stream.
I was just threatening to do it, so there you
post
go.
If you post a flower, you're coming after my children. It's like, what? What? It's like, wow. Okay. All right, then. We'll just leave it at that.
Yep.
But thank you, ladies.
Look, oh my gosh. Carly! Hilarious is here! Yay!
Wait, what happened?
I'm so fangirling.
hilarious. He's so funny.
Who's
Yeah,
Oh my
hilarious?
gosh. Yay!
he's a funny YouTuber. He does like the shorts and stuff, but he shouts us out, and we're in his lives, and he's just so awesome.
And we're not even being funny right now.
I know. Right? Why'd you pick
You picked
this one to come to
we're talking
next
about
week?
yes, next week.
You
before.
missed Saturday. You weren't here Saturday for the games.
Okay, so
We did-
Relarious has their own YouTube channel, obviously, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And he's
And he
funny
does
as
TikTok
hell.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go sub right after this live.
Yes.
Yeah, he is hilarious.
Hilarious. We did Dirty Minds on Saturday. It was fun.
Yes, we did
Hilarious
Dirty
is the
Minds,
one
and
who
we
told us to
shouted
do
you out.
Dirty Minds, so we got that game.
We should one night do Royal Fashion.
Oh, we should.
Yes.
Yes, Royal Family Fashion, because I actually don't mind a lot of Megan's style. Her
I
formal
don't
style
either.
is awful.
Besides the
Yeah,
Burpoo one.
Yeah, she tends to get more right than wrong. She just has her formal wear is always off. It's always ill fitting and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I don't mind her fashion at all. I look at her stuff and I'm like, oh, that's actually nice.
Yes.
Yeah, so we need to do that one night.
But
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but Miss Kylie Jenner is on my radar for a fashion
Yes.
roast.
what did she
That-
do?
Yes.
Oh, let me find this.
What did she do?
You got to see this.
You might as well just show it.
Poor Dior is all I'm saying. I love Ronnie.
Thank you, Juju. See, look at our mods. Look at our mods.
Okay.
Thank
Tomorrow
you,
night we
Juju.
have Florida.
Here.
FL Man.
Yeah,
is
he
that
goes.
Florida
That's
Man?
right. He goes live every Wednesday night.
Okay.
And it's usually most of the time it's usually jokes and stuff like
Right.
jokes, but he does all kinds of crazy stuff or all funny stuff. It's
Okay, cool.
all laid back, like just hilarious, real hilarious.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I subscribe.
Yeah,
I'm afraid to subscribe now. I might kick myself out. But sorry, before we go? What did Kylie do? I try to steer clear of any Kardashian stuff. What's happening?
All right. Oops, I think I'm sharing the wrong screen.
Okay, so Florida, so another YouTuber is joining him.
Oh, okay, cool. Why
So
am
that's
I
what
seeing
he's
a
talking.
lion's head?
Because I'm gonna give you a different one. I shared the wrong screen.
You will see in a second.
Oh, no.
We need to call PETA, is what I'm saying.
Okay, that's a better one.
Oh, that's who it is. Yes, I'm glad I got this on my flip
Make that
phone.
bigger.
I love that guy.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
That is attached to her dress.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, why? Why? Girl, why?
Because they're just they just for shock factor. That's it.
Yeah.
For shock value.
I got money, so let me get a symbol on my dress.
Ew. That's just like I mean, do you have to take your dress to the litter box? Like, come on.
Like, but
I hope it's fake. Please tell me it's fake.
Oh,
even if it's not fake, even if it is fake, I think they implicate it's just in such poor taste.
It is.
Well, hilarious. Apparently, that's high fashion.
No, that's not how. Oh, okay, on
African
Lion Safari, it might be high fashion.
Yeah.
If you're on a
she's
safari,
gonna get attacked. Get attacked by a lion. Lion's gonna think she's like some prey.
Like it's just. It doesn't even look good.
Hideous.
It doesn't. Like
it's hideous. That's like what the name of this dress is. The Witch and the Lion is on my wardrobe.
Oh my goodness.
Like I just
the name of that dress should be "Why did this witch put me on her wardrobe?" that's
yes.
Like, that's what the name should be.
Like, yes, just saying.
Yeah, it is. I can't with these Jenner people. I cannot.
The Jenners, the cars.
Yeah.
Can't do them.
I mean,
Can't
that
do
could
'em.
be. Yeah, I can't. Like, I don't. That doesn't scream high fashion to me.
Yes,
I-
as
What?
Ronnie G points out, the
No
model
way.
walked the outfit in the show that Kylie wore the outfit to. Like, is that tacky? Why would you wear the outfit to the show the model is walking the runway?
That's what I heard. That's like wearing, and I'm not coming for anybody who does this, because I just heard that this is almost like a faux pas. It's like almost like a concert faux pas. Never wear a T-shirt of the band or the artist that you're at a concert. Like, you don't go to I don't know, a Madonna concert wearing a Madonna T-shirt kind of thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. I
Front
was gonna
row.
say,
But apparently that's, you don't do that. That's kind of like,
Well, and you can't really hide that one.
yeah.
I mean, it's not like, oh, sorry, I thought it was Dior and I'm at a Valentino show and I it really is Valentino. No, you can't hide that.
Juju is funny. I appreciate people that will do things like that and act like it is completely normal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Ronnie says,
That's high fashion. That's your high when you picked out that fashion.
wait, isn't that Irina Shayk? Isn't that isn't that the model that Kanye dated after, just right after him and Kim broke up, and she's the one that used to, the mother of it, she was with Bradley Cooper before they have a child together. Is that the same one?
Maybe she
Irina
did it.
Shayk or something, Shaq or Shayk?
oh,
Maybe
maybe
she
the
did
it
it
same
for
one?
was.
shade.
Maybe it was for, but still, like, you could have done something else besides that, because like, I would not, like, why that?
She should have
Why?
brought her newborn. Like, didn't she just have a baby not too long ago?
Yeah. Oh, actually, I think he's a year old now, isn't
Oh,
he?
she should have brought her like her child and lifted him up like Simba and go.
Okay, you know, it just went through my head.
Oh.
Ooh, Mufasa.
No.
Oh my goodness.
That's
I
hilarious.
can't believe Kristola isn't in here. She's missing hilarious.
She's gonna be mad. She's gonna be big
Yeah.
mad.
Is
But
she busy?
they got bad storms tonight. That might be
Oh.
going
Yeah.
on.
Oh.
Yeah, she always has like connection issues.
Okay,
because
so you're talking about Kylie next live?
I was just gonna ask Juju, you know, she's saying how miserable the whole family is. Is that gonna be our next let's talk Kardashians?
Juju should join you for that live.
Yeah. Juju,
Yeah.
you want to come on for that one?
Yeah. And then we'll do the royal family fashion, the royal fashion one night, and then Carly should come on that.
Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
I know.
And we'll
Yeah, it's
actually know
just-
what we're talking about, not read from a Vogue magazine and pretend like you ever knew who. Never mind.
Maybe we should get some, like, maybe we should get a gentleman's fashion view.
Those storms were crazy here in
Aw.
Texas too.
Yeah.
Oh, gentlemen, I make
Yeah.
myself laugh.
Yep. Alrighty then.
Anyway, so that is my Harry and Meghan rant. If you'd like any further rant, just follow me on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
Just follow me on Twitter. I'm not.
that gonna be-
you'll get to,
I'm not
you'll get
shy.
to see her other rants too.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, there's actual things that I go to retweet or actually just tweet on my own, and I actually stopped myself from tweeting it. From it. I was like, when I know that there's a limit even to myself, it's like, okay, it's bad when I actually stop myself from tweeting something, because there's stuff that is just really, really bad that people say. Although I agree, I just anyways.
Hey, Mousy, is that going to be on camera?
We are giving birth to baby Grace tomorrow. What is Mousy
It's
having a
it's the
baby?
sea
It's
monkeys.
a sea monkey.
Oh. Oh, I thought Mousy was having another child. Oh,
Yay!
a sea monkey. Oh.
Yeah.
Mousy is setting up a whole sea monkey setup. That's redundant.
Yeah.
She's setting up a setup on camera.
Really?
Yes.
Like for real?
Setting up a
For real,
setup.
for real.
Oh.
Yep.
Yep. So we're gonna get the sea monkeys.
Oh, that's
Juju, you want to
amazing.
drop her link?
I didn't
She's
even know
probably already on her
Mousy
way getting it.
Yeah, probably.
is so Mousy is the same mouse. Okay, hang on. There's different Mousies. Is
Might be the-
Mousy the same Mousy that I see in Aaron's chat sometimes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Because I know there's other Mousies.
Yeah, she's known more on because she was more on Little Mousy Girl.
Okay.
Was her-
So
yeah.
that's the same one. Okay.
Yeah, but so she's
retiring that.
Yeah,
name.
and now
Okay.
she has this one.
I'm Little Mousy. Okay, that's who I thought, and then I thought, okay, no, I think those are two different people. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Bye,
Yeah.
Ronnie.
So
All right.
thank
Thanks
you
for
so
coming,
much
Ronnie.
for coming, and
Thank
thank you everyone
having
for
me,
coming.
ladies.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. It was so
And
fun.
Thanks
And-
for everyone listening to me rant. I'm sorry. I just have
glad
opinions.
to have you. We're glad to have you. And next time we come up with a new topic, we'll let you know.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you want to enter our contest for our 100 sub contest, because we're
Okay.
kind of a big deal now, you know.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Go back to our live from Saturday night, and
Okay.
all you have to do is put a comment on, and basically what we asked is the comment was telling us what you like about our content and what you want to see us do, maybe.
Okay. Right.
But really, just put whatever you want.
Okay. Perfect. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody, for having
Thank you.
me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It was
Thank
fun.
you for
I'm
coming.
sorry. I have strong opinions. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry
you
you were
did
fine.
great.
No, you were
Or
fine.
you did great.
Across as
Not at all. Not at all.
not, unsympathetic, but I just have strong feelings.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night,
Yeah,
y'all.
good
We'll see
night,
ya
everyone. Thank you so much
Bye,
for coming.
everybody.
Alrighty.
Bye.